Hey guys, good morning. So I had a little bit of news this morning. The wife woke me up around 6 o'clock saying that our security cameras on our house have been moved. Came outside just to see what was going on. I do have an '07 Honda Accord. I know the catalytic converters are very sought after. Catalytic converters in general are, but I know for this one in general, they look around for them. So came outside, checked everything out. Everything seemed pretty normal, but there's a reason they moved that camera. Came to my car, started it up, and this is what I found. We're gonna start it up right now. So obviously catalytic converter is gone. It is loud, huh? So I'm gonna pull it in to the garage, see if I can weld on some piping to that, get it so where I could drive it again. Gotta figure out the O2 sensor. I did look underneath. It is ripped out. Obviously they don't care, they're just gonna sawzall everything off. But as long as I can get a pipe on there and make it drivable for a while, at least until I get a catalytic converter. Catalytic converter for this car is about $1,500. I live in California, so there goes that. Has to be carb legal and everything, so a little bit more hoops to jump through. If it was in any other state, probably be a little bit easier, but that's what I'm dealing with right now. So let's go ahead and put it into the garage, see what we can do. So obviously, with this type of thing, people don't really care how they're gonna take off the catalytic converter. It's honestly gonna be just really fast, however they're gonna do it. So obviously, catalytic converter got cut out. O2 sensor wiring, obviously just ripped right out. But when I was jacking it up, putting the jack stands on, I found out that they lifted it from the floorboard. So you can see the seam right here starting to split. This is just some adhesive sealer that they put on here. It's gonna be on this side as well. But looks like they jacked it up from right here. That really sucks though, because now that I look on the inside of the car, I don't know if you can really tell, but my floorboard is pushed up right here. So now the floor goes up. Just another unfortunate thing. So like I said, I was gonna try and put some piping on this thing, just seeing if I can get it to go, at least make it drivable. If it was like a straight section where you have it parallel, that would be a lot easier to do. Obviously just a straight pipe, a couple of band clamps would have been it. But the way they cut it off, let me show you, is gonna make it a little bit more of a challenge, just because I'm gonna have to get some different I guess angles for the piping. So let's take a look at it. So the pipe right here goes right here. I expected them to have cut off somewhere around right here, because the catalytic converter is not that big. It's just at about right here. Yeah, the piping. But they cut it off right here and all the way over there. So they cut off a big section of it, of the exhaust system. But you see how that's facing downward, so I'm gonna have to come out, see if I can find some angled piping, come out from there this way, and then work my way back to this guy. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure up the pipes, and just see exactly what sizes I need in order to make this work. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure those up right now. Alright, well, piping, or the exhaust, whatever, is going to be 2 3/8 from the front of the engine. As it's working its way back to the back, it's going to be a 2-inch pipe. So 2 3/8 all the way to a 2-inch. So plus that angle is not going to really help me with how easy it's going to be to just find some random piping and then put it together. I was going to do just some hose clamps for right now, obviously, because I do plan on getting the catalytic converter later on. So I don't want to make it a permanent repair. which is why I'm going to use some band clamps just to get that on. But I just gotta see what I can find at AutoZone, just to get this thing to be able to drive to work without being so noisy. O2 sensor is gonna stay off for now. It's gonna be that secondary sensor that they ripped out. Might get a check engine light, but whatever. Like I said, main goal right now is just to get it to work. I have about 3 hours left before I gotta get ready, so let's get to AutoZone. I'm gonna see what I can find. It might look a little, you know, little questionable, but I feel like it's gonna be able to get out of here, drive it to work, and that's it. So we'll see how it goes. All right, so got the pipes that I'm gonna be using, extensions and stuff like that, but ran into a bit of an issue. Obviously, AutoZone didn't have the biggest selection when it comes to the parts I needed. As for this guy right here, this outer one is going to be 3/8 or 2 3/8. I did buy this flex hose for exhaust that is a 2 3/8 as well, but it doesn't seem to be mating up to it. It did say that this is going to be a 2 3/8 inner diameter, and from what I measured on this, it seems to be a 2 3/8 outer diameter. So it should have been fitting, but it doesn't seem like it's going to work out. So I'm going to go ahead and undo the oxygen sensor, as well as the 2 bolts holding on this whole piece right here. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can just go ahead and weld this. I don't know, it's pretty thin, to be honest, so I'm not too sure how it's gonna hold up being welded, but we're gonna try it out, I guess. Seems pretty flimsy. I'm gonna have to weld some of the other pieces as well together, just to get it going, but this is kind of what I'm dealing with right now. So this seems like an odd size of an exhaust pipe to be working with, just because there's not much selection out there for it. Luckily, I was the last person to replace this oxygen sensor. So obviously NEC's was used. Still nice and good. But I did not remove this flange at any point in time, so hopefully that doesn't give us any problems. Let's go ahead and see if these bolts want to cooperate. Yep, that one's going. That one's going as well. Alright, cool. So I just want to break them off with a ratchet first. That way I could tell if they were about to snap or not. But we're golden. Alright, so from the looks of it, I don't know if you can see that. It looks a little bit oblonged. I don't know if that's because this is where the bend happens, or if when they were cutting it, just kind of like bent it that way, or deformed it. You can see the saw that they were using, the sawzall color, red. Anyway, so it's not a perfect circle, so I'm imagining that's why it's not fitting onto this guy right here. I'm gonna try to bend this a little bit more circular. Just gonna take a hammer to it, see if I can't make that fit on here. Like I said, I don't think this is gonna weld very easily just because of how thin this is, so I want to avoid welding this as much as possible, using that as a last resort. Alright, so looks like we have a good bevel right here. So I'm gonna try and use the cement. Let's bring it down some. Looks like we got a fit. So now we could use the clamp that it came with on this side, have it up, So I'm gonna go ahead and leave that right there. So these are the two other pipes that I found. So what I'm gonna do is, it's a little horrible, but I'm gonna weld these two together. Hopefully it comes out as a good weld. Like I said, it's not the thickest material. So I'm gonna try and see what I can do. See if I can get it like this. This end's gonna go to the back of the exhaust, and I'm gonna band clamp this. This side should fit inside of that hole perfectly. Maybe a little bit of a tighter squeeze, but hopefully it'll hold. I'm gonna go ahead and tack this in place. Alright, so it's tacked in place. It's pretty sturdy. Let's go ahead and see if we can weld the bead around that. Oops, had a blowout. Wait for it to cool down a little bit. Alright, sealed off. Welded the two pieces together. It was just hard because, like I said, it was a 2 3/8 coming out of the exhaust manifold, and then at the actual exhaust pipe, so it would be right after the catalytic converter, turns into a 2-inch. So they didn't sell any adapters that were 2 3/8 to a 2-inch. So I literally had to find that adapter, weld them together, and then yeah, it's just a matter of putting it together. So that's what I had to do for right now. Like I said, AutoZone didn't have the biggest selection when it came to exhaust tubing, but we're gonna make this work. Like I said, gotta get to work, so we're gonna find a way. Alright, so put on the anti-seize on the bolts. Let's go ahead and put her back in. Very unfortunate how these guys just go around scoping people's cars out and, you know, just stealing people's catalytic converters and stuff like that. It's just, people work so hard for their money. I know it's, you know, obviously cliche to say, and everyone that's had this happen to them will say the same thing. You know, we work hard for our stuff, but at the end of the day, people that do this for a living, it's screwing other people over. Just horrible, man. The dude, from what I saw on the camera too, he was driving a white, looked like a newer model Mercedes. I wonder how he funded that. But you know, as I told my wife, she was pretty upset about the whole situation, and so was I. Obviously, it's not a good feeling, but at the end of the day, those feelings aren't gonna help me solve, you know, like for example, this problem. If I was pissed off about it all morning, probably wouldn't have the energy to go ahead and fix it before work, or even go to work for all that matter. So, you know, what happened, and all we can do is move forward and see other ways to prevent it in the future. So, one of the things I see a lot, some of the cars that I've worked on, is the catalytic converter will have steel cables welded onto it, or some rebar, something like that. I'm thinking about implementing something like that once I get an actual catalytic converter on this car. That way I just won't have to deal with it anymore, and hopefully it'll be a little safer. So what I'm gonna do is do a couple of reverse turns on it. That way when I put it up here, it'll spin. I won't get tangled up.
Maybe I could lose one of these pie photos.
Yes, I know this looks really crappy, but you know, I want to say it sits lower than what the stock piping was. Don't really want to bend it too much. I think I'm maxing this thing out as far as bending capabilities. Just hoping it doesn't scrape on the floor while I'm driving. I'm gonna need to trim this guy right here. So let's mock that up. This is gonna slip over. And that right there, we're gonna have to trim down some. You know what? We should be fine cutting it right at length. So I'm gonna make a cut right there. So made quick work of that. Nice clean cut. This piping that they cut off is not very circular to begin with, but we've had a lot of obstacles along the way, so what's another one, right? Let's do it. Only. There it goes. Alright, so should be good right there. Just a little bit more noise, obviously because the cat is missing now, with just a pipe in there. But overall pretty good. Been driving around for a couple days, like I said. No issues other than check engine light, totally normal. And my fuel economy definitely going down. But been looking online, just trying to see what I can find, obviously to repair the problem. Like I said, the cats are about 1,500 bucks. Did find a universal fit that was a walker. Might end up going with that one. It's $500. I believe that one was a well done without the flanges. So gonna go ahead and roll with that. For now, it's just getting me to work, in all honesty. So let's go ahead and hear it. So I don't know if you can pick that up, but not loud at all. You can tell obviously that the catalytic converter is being like just basically a straight pipe, just because of it is a little more noise to it, but other than that. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for that. I'll go ahead and update you guys once I actually get a catalytic converter installed and then go from there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. I do have some other videos planned that are going to be coming up. I do a lot of work on cars, but at the same time I do have a lot of side projects, whether it be working on the house, off-roading. This is my 95 Jeep Grand Cherokee, 3.5-inch lift. Right now, currently working on it. I need to get the track bar situated. I'm gonna weld on a plate and all that, and then get it taken care of. Did run into some death wobble, obviously. But anyways, thank you for watching. Like I said, I have a few more projects coming up. If you guys are interested, go ahead and subscribe. But thanks again. Bye.